Matt Henderson for Jim Bayliss and all my sons at the Repertory Theater of St. Louis. Second set of sides. Any news?
No news.
You can't sit up all night, dear. Why don't you go to bed?
I'm waiting for Chris. Don't worry about me, Jim. I'm perfectly all right.
It's almost 2 in the morning.
I can't sleep. You had an emergency?
No. Someone had a headache and thought they were dying. Half of my patients are quite mad. Nobody knows how many people are walking around loose, totally coconuts. Money. Money, 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 money. You say it long enough, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, how I hope I'm around when that happens.
You're so childish, Jim. Sometimes you are.
Kate, what happened?
I told you. We had an argument with Joe, then he got in the car and drove away.
What kind of an argument?
An argument, Joe. He was crying like a child before.
They argue over Anne?
No, not Anne. Imagine. She hasn't come out of that room since he left. All night in that room.
What did Joe do? Tell him?
Tell him what?
Don't be afraid, Kate. I know. I've always known.
How?
It occurred to me a long, long time ago.
I always had the feeling that in the back of his head, Chris almost knew. I didn't think it would be such a shock.
Chris would never know how to live with a thing like that. It takes a certain talent for lying. You have it, and I do. Not him.
What do you mean? He's not coming back?
Oh no, he'll come back. We all come back, Kate. These private little revolutions always die, a compromise is always made. In a peculiar way, Frank is right. Every man does have a star. The star of one's honesty. And you spend your life groping for it. But once it goes out, it never lights again. I don't think he went far. He probably just wanted to be alone to watch his star go out.
Just as long as he comes back.
I wish you wouldn't, Kate. One year I simply took off. Went to New Orleans. For 2 weeks, I lived on bananas and milk and studied a certain disease. It was beautiful. And then she came and she cried. And I went back home with her. And now I live in the usual darkness. I can't find myself. It's even hard sometimes to remember the kind of man I wanted to be. I'm a good husband. Chris is a good son. He'll come back. I have a feeling he's in the park. I'll go around and look for him. Put her to bed, Joe. This is no good for what she's got.